Did you know a lot of U.S. government officials become Knights of the Crown in England? You know when you become a peer that you get free houses, all sorts of special perks. Most of England's owned by the Queen of England. She walls most of the nation off. Every time I'm in London, they just randomly shut off parts of the city, and the buses let you know. At the Queen's pleasure, this part of the city is shut down. At the Queen's pleasure, the river is shut down for 4 hours today. And she just does that to exercise her power. In Australia, when they tried to vote a corrupt government out in '79, the Queen fluttered in and said, I'm kicking you all out. That happened last year in Canada when they wouldn't go along with her orders. She just said, it wasn't last year, it was in January of this year. Look at this. Tony Blair. I wrote an article 6 years ago saying he was trying to bring England into the EU without a vote by stealth. And now and I said he would be rewarded by being the head of the EU, the little dictator. Well, here it is. Tony Blair, the EU president no one really wants. There he is. And by the way, France voted it down, expanding EU power from almost dictatorship to total dictatorship. So did Ireland. Well, they just kept revoting. And now they said Friday, and the votes aren't counted yet because they don't have electronic voting machines, but it looks like the Lisbon Treaty passes. And the British government doesn't care if 85% of Brits won't go along with the EU. In major polls, it's between 75 and 95, depending on the poll. I just say 85. It's very high numbers. You can pull them up for yourselves. They're just having the bureaucracy do it. Just like in the U.S., we're already under the North American Union by treaty. Tony Blair, the EU president no one really wants. Times of London. I mean, you just never get rid of these people. Let's go to your phone calls. Scott in Connecticut, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Alex? Honor to talk to you. Look, I got to say, man, you're fired up tonight. When I listen to your podcast, it gets me fired up because I like to press out 315 on the Smith machine just listening to you. Seriously, I saw something today that was really kind of bothersome. I was down at the local, I don't want to say X-Mart store.
Well, why not say where you were at? Tell us where you were at.
Kmart. I can't believe they're still open, but I was at a Kmart, and there was a police department display. They had the cherry picker out. Kids were going up for rides, a couple cop cars. But they had those damn police tanks out there, and the guys that were walking around them weren't wearing, like, T-shirts with, yellow police on the back. They were wearing green, like, BDU-type uniforms with baseball caps. And I thought that was kind of odd. And I was just curious if anyone else had seen something like that.
I'm looking for my article here. Here it is. Marine aircraft causes damage in neighborhood. They thought it was a big storm or even tornado that caused damage to their properties. Then they realized it was a low-flying military aircraft. And it says it happened Tuesday evening on Willow Street in Frankfurt. A Marine Corps officer said it was part of an urban training exercise where the Osprey aircraft, very dangerous, by the way. Those things are always crashing. They don't even let those fly over cities usually, but land in tight spaces. Neighbors say the aircraft was flying right over the rooftops. An Osprey. Do you have any idea how deadly dangerous? Those things aren't even cleared to fly yet, I thought. They're the pull up an Osprey. Yeah, the tilt-wing aircraft with the big propellers. Captain Robert Schufer, the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit, apologized to neighbors. Folks, Delta Force crashed in Houston. Delta Force fired into an all-night restaurant in Miami, hitting the table. Pieces of glass went in the woman's face. They bribed the San Antonio government till the police chief stopped it. They tried to bribe the Travis County government. I mean, this is on record. The Army is involved putting liaison officers in everywhere. They're involved taking over, and they're doing urban warfare drills, admittedly, to acclimate the public. We've had them come up to us in Hebron, Maryland, and say, turn your cameras off or we're going to arrest you, as they practice taking over the city hall. Now, what's happening here? Now they just admit, no longer is it drills. Yeah, there's an Osprey. Deadly dangerous. Those were flying over people's houses. Okay? Gigantic aircraft. Incredible thrust on those babies. I mean, that'll rip the shingles right off roofs if you get within 100 feet of a house. Anyway, side issue. The point is, I've read a lot about these because they're always crashing, killing the troops, and even Rumsfeld said it was the greatest lemon ever known, but because it's a special interester behind it, we've got to have it. And of course, they'll probably crash over neighborhoods and, thank you for blowing up on my house. I love the troops. And now they have regular Army Marines everywhere running checkpoints. And if you say you don't want troops, good old boys call up drunk and go, you damn commie, it's good to have troops running America. I appreciate your call, Scott. Yes, they have armored vehicles and helicopters, and the police have been militarized, and they swagger around. In fact, I have that in my stack, where all over the country they're announcing, oh, yes, we want citizens to spy on their neighbors to fight al-Qaeda. They've been doing this for years, but now it's a big push. And you go to the meetings, this has been in the news, and they spend 5 to 15 minutes after the free donuts and Cokes and coffee on al-Qaeda. And next they go, here's Sergeant Bob from the local department. He would liaison with the FBI and Homeland Security. Thank you, citizens. Do you smell marijuana? Click. This is what the plant looks like. Does your neighbor spank the child? When you're in your neighbor's house, do you see anything that looks illegal? Report it. You can get up to $200. I mean, this is word for word. We have the training videos. But again, the public goes to this. The good old boys go there and sit. I want to fight al-Qaeda. I'm going to the meeting. They go and they sit and they go, all right, here's al-Qaeda. Here's a training video. They want to kill you. Next. And they march in. Ladies and gentlemen, I didn't have time. I had to get to my plane. Okay, I had to get to my plane Saturday morning. I had to get into the Bozeman, the Billings airport and get out of there. For some reason, the elevator opened on the 3rd floor. I look out, and there are all these Girl Scouts with a Homeland Security sign, and they're milling around, and we're already late. I go and get the guys, don't even tell them about it, and leave. Now, it's been announced nationwide that 3.4 million Girl Scouts are, quote, going to look for terrorists and help get the message of Homeland Security across. So the little kids are now selling, and I love the Fuhrer. They got Boy Scouts in the New York Times. The New York Times says it's great, by the way. Training to, quote, take on disgruntled veterans and gun owners in, quote, seek and destroy missions. People like, oh, mow down those 14-year-olds. They're going to be 18 in 4 years. No, you won't. The people laughed at the Hitler-Jugend in 1933. They weren't laughing a few years later when they were jumping out of planes as paratroopers over Greece. The point here is that, I mean, I can't get away from this. The door is open, and it's Homeland Security and little kids. And it was so sick and so evil, I stepped out and looked for about 10 seconds with horror and saw cops, and I couldn't go get a camera and tape it. You know, I was like repulsed. I was, kind of got in the elevator and just had my coffee and was like, Jesus help me. And I mean, literally going, I can't handle this anymore, folks. Elevators are opening. There's Stasi everywhere. I mean, there's foreigners taking over in police departments. It's insanity, ladies and gentlemen. America is known where the dumb idiot schmucks live that'll put up with anything and have never seen tyranny they don't love. I mean, do you understand that we're falling like Germany? The Germans were hardworking, trustful people that followed orders. Look what happened. It happens everywhere else, folks. I mean, I kind of blocked that Girl Scout thing out of my mind. And I didn't want to go get a camera and try to take girls from the back because you're not supposed to show kids' faces. And I didn't want to have the cops and parents run over. And it was so sickening, I almost went and got a hidden camera to tape it. But it's in the news. They're at Homeland Security meetings. So I just closed the elevator and kind of shook in the corner. We'll be right back.